We are here on what I'm going to call a Froggy Friday because I've got the really cool deep voice. Has anybody ever watched Friends when Phoebe gets the coach? She says, "My stinky stinky shoes." Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Anyways, so don't forget hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. This process, learning it takes a while. Okay, for my in-class audience and those around the world, for the tens of views I get every day. All right. We're going to learn the box method today of factoring. There's other methods. I like the box method because it's very visual. Okay. So like this. All right. And I'm going to try to go slow, but that's why I didn't really amp up my coffee this morning. It's kind of weak. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Here's our A, here's our B, here's our C. All right. The first thing we have to do is multiply the A and C values. Okay. Now, I don't know how this came about. You know, way back when they were probably writing on papyrus. They just, hit the opium pipe and they figured this out. I have no idea. Okay. So we get 18. All right. Yeah, we just multiplied our A and C. All right. Now, find the factors of A times C. We will call this AC. That equal B. So we got to find the factors of 18 that has a sum of 9. Okay. 2, 9. I know some of y'all probably already knew this, but I'm stepping this out just in case. All right. So here are our factors that we're going to use. Okay. My cord's tangled up. Hey, bro, what did one canoe say to the other during their date downstream? This is romantic. Womp womp. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, we're going to fill in our box like this. Now, this is the first time I've actually printed this out for y'all to see exactly that the A term goes here, C goes here, and one of these two factors goes right here. Okay. So we're going to fill this in. So our A term, we're going to write 2x squared. Okay. Okay. Our C term was 9. Now, on our factors, like we had 3 and 6, it doesn't matter where we put them. Okay, you can be willy-nilly where you put them. One has to go here, one has to go here. All right, now, one thing that's a little different is that now we're actually putting the x squared and the x's in here. Okay, and okay. All right, now we've got our chart filled out. Okay, remember, I'm teaching this like nobody has ever seen this before in your entire life. So I know some of y'all are like, oh, good gosh, cut my pinky toe off with a spork. All right, we're going to get the GCF of each row. Rows go across. So let's think about this. What is the biggest number that will divide 2 and 3? 1. 1. Yeah, there's not an actual number besides 1. So we're all right. For our x's, what is the smallest number? X squared or x to the first? x to the first. So we're going to pull that out. Okay. On this row, what is the biggest number that will divide 6 and 9? And I'm seeing that people are doing 3. People are doing this like the Mockingjay. All right, 3. And it's positive. Okay. Can we take an x out of 9? No, because it doesn't have it. Okay. All right. Now, that was the rows. Let's do the columns. And I'm trying to find a decent, I guess brown. I don't know. All right. What's the biggest number that will divide 2 and 6? 2. Yes. It is going to be 2x because x to the first is our smallest power in this column. No, you don't have to write the first and stuff. I'm just doing that. What now? No. What's funny? The question was, don't we do the biggest one? The greatest common factor with your variables with the exponents is usually the smallest exponent. Yeah, it's again drugs. Okay, I don't. All right. What is the biggest number that will divide 3 and 9? 3. All right. Now, lastly, we're going to write these terms together. So I'm going to write my row and my columns. And we're done. Huh? Yeah, the things on the outside of the box. Yes, sir. How'd I get what? This right here? This one? That right there? That was our original part right here. This 2x squared and our 9. Yes. That's a good question. The question was how we know if it's going to be addition or subtraction when it's in parentheses. I hope that I put this on here. I know I did for the other ones. That if we have a negative in either our row or column as our first part, we have to take out a negative. Just hang on. That doesn't make sense when I said it out loud either. I think so. Did I do the same problem? Cheese and crackers. All right, let's go to number 2 on the back. Because number 1 is exactly the same thing. Who's ever keeping up with the tally of how many times I messed up, make sure you put that on there too. All right. So we have to do our A times C. So what is 3 times 10 is 30. Okay. Our B right here is what? Negative 11. Okay. Because our, yeah, negative 11. Okay. Because this right here is positive, that means our signs are going to be the same. And they're both going to be negative. All right. So factors of 30 with a sum of 11 or negative 11, however written that. So what's some numbers that will divide 30? 5 and 6. Awesome possum. And then 5 plus 6 is 11. Perfect. Remember, the box you don't have to do. It's there if you need it. Okay? All right. We're about to fill in the box. So, our yeah, I got yeah. What? Yeah. All right. So, we got to get this the full a term, the x and all. So we write that right here, 3x squared. Okay. And our c term of plus 10. And now this is where we put our factors. And they've got to be negative. Okay. So which one do y'all want right here? Negative 6x. Perfect. What about right here? So if 6x goes here, we'd put 5x right here. Okay. We have to put the x there because basically this is what we're doing. Okay, we had 3x squared minus 11x plus 10. When we found these factors, we're actually replacing this term with minus 5 and minus 6. But what's right here? The x. So that's why we have to put the x in there. Okay, good questions. Good questions. Okay. All right, let's do this row. What is the biggest number that will divide 3 and 6? 3. I know what you just said because you said 6 divided by 3 is 2. All right. What's the smallest power of x? Yeah, just x. Now, this goes to your question earlier. Do you see right here, this first term in this row? It's negative. That means that our GCF has to be negative. Okay. So, what is the biggest number that will divide 5 and 10? 5. Yeah, you see, you did the same thing. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Yeah, it's your brain will say the last thing, or your mouth will say the last thing your brain was thinking. All right. Now let's do this column right here. What's the biggest thing that will divide 3 and 5? 1. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The question was because this is closest to the outside. It's the first one that we read on the rows, Brooke. It's the first one we read from left to right. And then on the columns, it's the first one we read from top to bottom. Yes. What now? Oh, why is there not an x with negative 5? Does 10 have an x? No, so we can't take an x out of 10 if it doesn't have it. All right. All good questions. All right. What is the smallest exponent of x in this column? Yeah, x. All right. Now, going back to Brooke's question, since this first one, as we read, this is negative, so I'm going to take out a negative. What is the biggest number that will divide both 6 and 10? 2. 3x minus 5, and then x minus 2. So that's how we get our pluses or our minuses on the inside of the parentheses. All right. Now, the biggest thing I need you to understand right now is the process. There's lots of going on. Okay. The main big change from yesterday is we're multiplying this A and C term. We're applying this that we did yesterday. Then this whole new box thing. Okay. It's okay to not feel 100% warm and fuzzy. If you're starting to see a little flickering light at the end of the tunnel, that's okay. It doesn't have to be bright. All right. Number 3. So A times C. So this is 2 negative 12. I need to do that somewhere else. I didn't give us enough room to do that. I get negative 24. All right. So, all right. Negative 24. All right. And our B term is negative 5. All right. Since this is negative, our signs are going to be same or different? Different. And because this is negative, the bigger factor is going to be negative. All right. So numbers that will divide 24. Okay. Well, bigger factor has to be negative. All right. So that happens to be what we need. So we fill out our box. 2x squared minus 12 minus 8x plus 3x. And I just put those there. It doesn't matter as long as you put them somewhere in a separate box. Okay. Now, this row going this way, this is positive, so it's going to be positive. What is the biggest number that will divide 2 and 8? No, you're right. You had it right the first time. Mm-hmm. What's the smallest power of x? X. Okay, this is positive, so what is the biggest number that will divide 3 and 12? 3. And we can't take an x out because 12 doesn't have one. Okay. So now we're going this way. That's positive. What's the only thing I can take out of this column together? Just the x, yeah. If you put the 1, that's fine. I'm not going to eat your face over that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I have high cholesterol and teenagers are greasy. Now, nobody. Okay, 2 people. All right. As we're looking down this column, this is negative. So I got to take out a negative. So what's the biggest number I take out of between 8 and 12? 4. Still lost. Okay, which on the green. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me show it to you this way. All right. If I group it like this, okay, what's the biggest number I can take out of 2 and 8? 2. Yeah, I'm going to take a 2x out. And that leaves me with the x minus 4. Okay. In this group, what's the biggest thing I can take out of 3 and 12? 3. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Now, these two methods are actually the same thing. One is in a box, one of them is not. Okay. This is AC bus to B. They're both AC bus to B. Y'all hear that if you Google it, you know. It depends on how you learned how to multiply these things previously. If you multiplied it, if you learned previously to multiply by splitting this and then doing double distributive property, this method is double distributive property backwards. This is the box method of multiplication backwards. Okay. So, yes. Right. No. And the reason why the question was if you swapped the order right here. The only way this works is if you do this form right here. Yeah, the factors are the ones that you can put wherever, but the A has to be in the top left and the C has to be in the bottom right. Okay. So we've done 3. We should be masters of this right now, right? No. All right. Hey, let's see. So 4 times -5. Oh, what the heck is that? That -5 looks depressed. All right. -20. All right. This is positive 19. All right. Because this is negative, our factors are different, and our bigger factor is positive. All right. So what's some numbers that will go in the 20? 1 and 20. Yeah. Everybody, how many of y'all want to say 4 and 5 right at the very beginning? Yeah, I did too. Because if I did 4 and 5, okay, the bigger, so this is, I get 1. Yeah. So I am going to have to use 20 and 1. There we go. All right. So now make sure your box method is set up like mine, or we're going to get something kind of funky. All right. On this row right here, what is the biggest number that will divide 4 and 20? 4. Yeah, you said 20 divided by 4 is 5. Yeah, no, that happens all the time. Okay. What about my power of x? Yeah, just x. Aha, here we have another negative at the beginning. Okay, so now I have to take out a negative. What's the only thing is that will divide both 1 and 5 evenly? 1. Do we have an x? No, because the 5 does it. Good. All right. What's the only thing I can take out of this column? X. Very good. All right. Looking down this way, this is positive. What am I going to take out of this column? 5. And it's positive. All right. So, different way, and some of y'all may have seen it. It's kind of a lot, okay? And I would rather have a lot for you to fill in other than me give you the problem and then you have to do all this other stuff on your own, okay? I'm trying to take off some of the, ah, I can't do all of it. All right. This is where I leave y'all. For those watching around the world with my tens of views I get every day. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.